This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, all. Anybody reply in the chat box? Okay. Good morning, all. Are you able to hear my voice? Anybody reply in the chat box, please? Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. Okay, in last class, we discussed transport of charge carriers in semiconductor, right? One is due to drift current and another one is due to diffusion current, right? Drift current, again, electron drift current as well as hole drift current. Similarly, diffusion current, again, hole diffusion current as well as electron diffusion current. And major difference between drift and diffusion is drift current exists due to the electric field. Whenever we apply some small voltage, electric field is created. Due to that electric field, there is a carrier transport taking place in semiconductor device. And coming to the second one is diffusion current. This is due to the concentration variation in a semiconductor device. Okay, generally charge carriers are moving from high concentration area into low concentration area. Right. These two mechanisms are already covered, diffusion current and drift current. And today we are ready to move into another important first electronic device, that is PN junction, also called diode. PN junction device, also called diode, right? Today we discuss PN junction and operation of diodes, right? Okay. Once again, we briefly discuss few important concepts here. Okay, observe here. Okay. Now here observe, it is a silicon crystal doped with phosphorus atom, right? I can concentrate mainly here. This is the silicon crystal. In silicon, 4 valence electrons are there. 4 valence electrons are shared with another silicon atom. 4 valence electron form a strong covalent bond. And observe here, in silicon, number of protons inside the silicon atom is 4. So proton having a positive charge. Similarly, electrons having negative charge, so that the neutrality taking place at silicon atom, so that the net amount of charge is equal to 0, right? Similarly, if you dope it with phosphorus atoms, okay, to form a n-type semiconductor, even though we inserted phosphorus atoms, the net amount of charge sorry, okay, then the total net amount of charge still is equal to 0, whether it is a doped or undoped, whether it is a doped semiconductor or it is an undoped semiconductor, the net charge is equal to 0. Suppose here the phosphorus atom is introduced. Here the phosphorus, how many valence electrons here? 5 valence electrons. 4 valence electrons are strongly bonded with another 4 silicon atoms. Okay, there is a one free electron as shown here. There is a one free electron. What about the net charge here? Phosphorus atom consists of 5 protons, right? 5 electrons. So that net charge is equal to 0. So whether it is a doped semiconductor or undoped semiconductor, the net charge is equal to 0. Observe here, net charge is equal to 0. Phosphorus atom 5 electrons, 5 protons. Similarly, silicon 4 electrons, 4 protons. But by adding a phosphorus atoms, number of free electrons available is more number of electrons. Okay, net charge is equal to 0, but the availability of free charge carrier is electrons. More number of electrons are available. Now here one more important one is, observe here red line, last point. If an electron is depart from the p atom, phosphorus atom, a positive ion is left behind. That is, it behaves like a positive charge. Let us assume this available free electron, one free electron, suppose it is moved from another place. Now what happened? Observe the entire crystal. Without this free electron, all covalent bonds are strongly formed, right? Okay, all covalent bonds are strongly formed. Then what about the net charge here? Phosphorus, how many protons here? 5 protons. But how many electrons here? Only 4 electrons. What about it becomes a positive ion? Remember this one here, the word, new word here, positive ion. Now this phosphorus atoms behaves like a positive ion and no charge carriers. Remember this one. It behaves like a positive ion as well as no charge carriers, immobile charge carriers. There is no mobile charge carriers. Simply it behaves like a positive charge, right? Similarly, boron also. Coming here, boron. What about here? Net charge. Net charge still here also 0. Why? Because for silicon, number of electrons is equal to number of protons. Positive charge plus 4 and negative charge minus 4, so that net charge for silicon atom is equal to 0. Coming to the boron, what about here? Number of electrons? 3 number of electrons. 3 electrons are strongly formed with another 3 silicon atom electrons covalent bond. Then 1 electron is left, right? For silicon atom, 1 electron is there. Okay, now this is treated as a whole. Okay. Now what about here? Boron, how many protons here? 3 protons. How many electrons here? 3 electrons. What is net charge? Net charge here also 0. Suppose some other electron, okay, external, some other electron fill up this hole. Now what happened here? Now all are strongly formed covalent bonds. What about the charge here? Previously number of protons is equal to 3 protons. But now here one extra electron it added here. Okay, hole is filled up with extra electron. Now it is a complete covalent bond. Now what happened here? Now it behaves like a negative ion. Okay, all covalent bonds are completely filled up. But what about the charge? Net charge is equal to negative. Why? Because here the boron, previously 3 protons, 3 electrons. Now 1 electron is added and that is complete the covalent bond. But what about the net charge? Net charge is equal to negative ion. Simply it behaves like a negative charge. Okay, after fill up this electron, what happened here? All are strongly covalent bonded. It does not contain any charge carrier. It does not contain electron. It does not contain any hole. Simply it behaves like a negative ion. Remember this one. These two concepts are very, very important to understand the PN junction. Right? Here once again here, it is a doped N-type semiconductor. In doped means pentavalent atoms are added. Here one example is phosphorus. Phosphorus having 5 valence electrons. 4 valence electrons are strongly bonded with another 4 silicon atom electrons, covalent bond, complete covalent bond. 1 electron is free. Okay, even though 1 electron is free, what about here the net charge? Net charge is equal to 0. How you can say net charge is equal to 0 means phosphorus atom, not only phosphorus, observe in a crystal, each atom there are inside protons, positive charge is equal to outer side electrons, negative charge. So that net charge is equal to 0. Similarly here also phosphorus also, here number of protons is equal to 5, number of electrons also 5, so that net charge is equal to 0. Now what happen if electron is moved to some other place, right? Okay, here observe here without this electron. Now what happened here? Remaining all are strongly covalent bonded. There is no free electron. And what about this this phosphorus atom? Number of protons still 5, but electrons only 4. So that majority is positive. So it behaves like a positive ion. Remember these two words, positive ions, similarly negative ions. Okay, simply it behaves like a positive charge, right? Here also p-type doping here. Suppose boron is added here to create a more number of holes. Here also boron 3 electrons, 3 protons, so that net charge is equal to 0. But if some electron is fill up this hole, so that completes the covalent bond. Now what happened behavior? Behavior is electrons 4 electrons, but protons only 3 protons. Now it behaves like a negative ion, behaves like a negative charge, right? Okay, remember these 2 points, keep in your mind. An important thing here is, here in this case, whenever electron come out from this crystal, there is no charge carriers in this place. This crystal act like a immobile carriers. There is no mobile carriers. All covalent bonds are strong covalent bonds. So it behaves like a positive ion. Okay. Now coming to the PN junction diode. Before we study any device, whether it is a PN junction or some other device, you must know that what is the necessity, what are the main applications of PN junction diode. Observe here, PN junction also called diode. We begin our study of semiconductor devices with PN junction for 3 reasons. The first one is the device finds application in many electronic systems, that is in adapters that charge the batteries of cell phones. Okay, the main applications of PN junction is adapter. Okay, nowadays everyone we are using the adapter that charge the batteries of cell phones or laptops or some other electronic devices. So adapter is a necessary device available in each and every place. Okay. So in adapter designing, PN junction device is a must, right? And second one is the PN junction is among the simplest semiconductor device that providing a good entry point into the study of the operation of such complex structures as transistors. Okay, before going into the transistor analysis, BJT, bipolar junction transistor analysis, we must study the operation of PN junction or diode. Okay, observe here, the PN junction is among the simplest semiconductor device, thus providing a good entry point into the study of operation of such complex structures as transistors. And third one is the PN junction also serves as a part of transistors. Right? To analyze the transistors also we require a PN junction operation analysis part. Right? We also use the term diode to refer to PN junction. Okay, this is a symbolic representation of diode. Okay, this is anode and this is the cathode, like something like a arrow mark here. Arrow mark. The arrow mark indicates some current direction. The current direction always from anode to cathode. Okay, there is a one vertical line. Vertical line, it will indicate that there is a controlled manner. The current cannot simply transmit it to anode to cathode. It is controlled by some mechanism, right? Okay. So this is a two-terminal device like a resistor, capacitor, inductor. The diode also two-terminal, right? One terminal is called anode terminal and another terminal is called the cathode terminal. Okay, observe here, this is the structure of, okay, 50% is a N-type semiconductor and another 50% is a P-type semiconductor device. And these two ends are connected with some metals or wires. Observe here, this end and this end are connected with some metals. Okay, these two, one end form a anode and another end form a cathode. What is the inside structure here? N. N means more number of electron. N-type semiconductor, more number of electrons. Right? Here more number of electrons. Phosphorus atom is doped, right? Electron. Similarly, here the P-type. P-type means more number of holes. Intrinsic semiconductor doped with boron, like a boron. There is a pentavalent impurities added here. Here trivalent impurities are added here. Right. When an N-type and P-type dopants are introduced side by side in a semiconductor, a PN junction or a diode is formed. Right. And coming to the structure, this is not like a one piece of N-type material and another piece of P-type material is not joined. In original, coming to the formation or is the technology here, there is a one process, either I can take a P-type material or N-type material. Remaining one is diffused, right? Okay, that is another issue. Okay. Okay, when N-type and P-type dopants are introduced in side by side in a semiconductor, a PN junction or a diode is formed. Right. How to understand the diode operations here? PN junction in equilibrium condition. Okay. First one is equilibrium condition, that is open circuit PN junction. Open circuit diode. No need to connect any potential to the terminals of a diode like anode or cathode. Right? Open circuit. Analyze the PN junction device or a diode. Okay, itself without connecting any potential difference across anode and cathode terminals. Okay, in that equilibrium condition, mainly concentrate on depletion region. What is meant by depletion region? How depletion region is formed, and what is meant by built-in potential? Okay, is there is some small derivation for built-in potential? We have to derive the expression for built-in potential, right? Okay. In PN junction under equilibrium condition, that is the open circuit PN junction, we are not connected any voltage across PN junction, right? Okay. Now second case is PN junction is under reverse bias. Okay. Connect some potential difference across PN junction. The case is reverse bias. Under reverse bias, the main important concept is junction capacitance. Mainly concentrate on junction capacitance. And third one is PN junction under forward bias. Okay. Connect the external potential such as that PN diode enter into forward bias. In that mainly forward bias, we have to mainly concentrate on IV characteristics, current and voltage, or VI characteristics of PN diode. So in order to understand the operation of a diode, it is necessary to study its three operation regions. One is equilibrium region, second reverse bias, and third one is forward bias. Okay, observe here. Let us first study the PN junction with no external connections. That is, the terminals are open and no voltage is applied across the device. We say the junction is in equilibrium, right? We begin by examining the interface between N and P sections, recognizing that one side contains a large excess of holes and other a large excess of electrons, right? Okay, our study begins with examining the interface between the N and P sections. Okay, interface means here, this point, junction point. In at that junction point, here inside more number of electrons, majority carriers are electrons, minority carriers are holes. Similarly, in P side, majority carriers are holes, minority carriers are electrons. Observe here, right? At junction, what happened? When PN junction is formed, at junction point, what happened? Why? Because one side, majority carriers electrons, minority carriers holes. In another side, majority carriers holes, minority carriers electrons. Okay. The third one, the sharp concentration gradient for both electrons and holes across the junction leads to two large diffusion currents. Okay. Due to concentration gradients, what happens means diffusion current flows. The first current which flows through the junction point is diffusion. Why? Because one side is more number of electrons, in another side less number of electrons. In coming to P side, more number of holes, less number of electrons. Due to this concentration variations, okay, concentration gradient, so that electrons try to diffuse from higher concentration to lower concentration. Similarly, holes diffuse from higher concentration to lower concentration. Due to this, electron diffusion current flows, hole diffusion current flows. So, since we must deal with both electron and hole concentration on each side of the junction. Before entering into the detailed analysis, once again I repeated same slides here. Right here, net charge is equal to 0. Whenever this electron move to some other place, the resultant one becomes a positive ion and it does not contain any mobile charge carriers. Remember this one, right? Similarly, here also same. Any electron fill up this hole, it behaves like a negative ion and all covalent bonds are completely filled, no charge carriers. Okay. Now observe here. Okay, this is the N-type semiconductor, this is P-type semiconductor. These are the majority carriers. Small n indicates electrons and suffix n indicates the material. What type of material? N-type. Electron concentration in N side. Observe here, Nn. Concentration of electrons on N side. Similarly, minority carriers. What are the minority carriers? Holes are the minority carriers. Suffix n. What is n here? N indicates the N side. So concentration of holes on N side. Similarly, PP. What does PP indicates? P indicates the holes. Majority carriers. Where here? P-type material. So concentration of holes on P side. Similarly, N suffix P. What is here? First letter indicates the either it is electron or hole. Second letter suffix letter indicates the type of material, either it is a P type or N type, right? N suffix P. What is first letter? Number of electrons. Number of electrons where here? P-type material. P-type material electrons are minority carriers. These are the density levels, right? This is higher level. Why? Because majority carriers. This is lower level. Why? Because it is minority carriers. Similarly, here also it is a majority carriers electrons. Here it is a minority carriers. You go like this, right? Before formation of a junction, right? These are the densities concentration, electron concentration in n-type, majority carriers N, whereas whole concentration in n-type, minority. That's why the level is very low level. Similarly, coming to the P, in P side, holes are the majority carriers, PP, electrons are the minority carriers, N suffix P, right? And before that, okay, so these are the concentrations. Okay, before connecting the junction, let us assume before connecting the junction, these are the concentration levels: majority concentration, minority concentration, right? Now there is a one problem, right? Okay. A PN junction employs the following doping levels: Na, here A suffix A indicates the acceptor atoms. Number of acceptor atoms is equal to 10 power 16 per cubic centimeter, and Nd, number of donor, 5 into 10 power 15 per cubic centimeter. Determine the hole and electron concentration on the two sides. Right here, right? Here one more important, according to the mass action law, the number of donor atoms or number of acceptor atoms approximately is equal to majority carriers. The acceptor atoms means, okay, acceptor atoms. Acceptor atoms means is the P type. In P type, which one is the majority carriers? Holes are the majority carriers. So P suffix P. What is the level? Approximately equal to Na, number of acceptor atoms. That information given in the problem, 10 power 16. Okay, based on the once you know the majority carriers, how we can calculate minority carriers? Minority carriers, N suffix P. Number of electrons in P is equal to Ni square by Na. Okay, Ni square by Na. From that, what is the minority carrier? 1.1 into 10 power 4 cubic centimeter per cubic centimeter. Similarly, observe here, donors. Okay, number of donors, number of phosphorus atoms approximately equal to the number of electrons. Okay, in N side, majority carriers are electrons, N suffix N. Okay, that is approximately equal to Nd. That information is given in the problem. Nd is equal to 5 into 10 power 15 per cubic centimeter. Okay, once you know the majority carriers, what is the minority carriers? Minority carriers is equal to Ni square by Nd. That is equal to. And one important observation here is majority carriers depends on donor atoms or acceptor atoms. In both cases, observe. If it is a N side, if it is a N-type material, number of electrons is equal to number of phosphorus atoms added, approximately. Phosphorus atoms are also called donors. It will donate one extra electron. That's why donors. Number of donors. Number of electrons is equal to number of donors. Whereas in minority carriers in N side is equal to Ni square. What is meant by Ni square? Already intrinsic carrier concentration. Already we know the expression for Ni. What is Ni? Ni is equal to 5.2 into 10 power 15 capital T temperature whole cube 3 power 2. That means Ni value depends upon temperature. Remember this one. So that means which one depends on temperature? Minority carriers. So minority carriers are depends upon temperature. Remember this one important point here. Right? minority carriers directly proportional to the Ni square by Nd in N-type material, whereas in P-type material, minority carriers are depends upon Ni square by N. So anyhow, it is directly proportional to the Ni square. That is Ni value again directly proportional to the temperature. So majority carriers are depends upon either donor atom or acceptor atom. Minority carrier densities are depends upon temperature. Remember, this concept is important. Minority carrier densities always depends upon temperature, whereas majority carriers always depends upon donor or acceptor atoms. Observe, coming to this level here. What is Nn here? Nn indicates the number of phosphorus atoms. What is Pn? What is Pn expression? Pn expression is equal to Ni square by Nd. Remember this one. Ni square by Nd. It is a N side. Now coming to the P side, what is Pp? Pp approximately equal to number of acceptor atoms, Na. What about Np? Np is equal to Ni square by Na. So that minority carrier concentration mainly depends upon Ni. Ni further depends upon temperature. So finally minority carrier density or concentration depends upon temperature. Whereas majority carriers depends upon only donor or acceptor atoms. Okay. Remember these points, all these points are very, very important. And coming to the what happened when observe here how the depletion region is formed. Okay, this is a N type, this is a P type. Here all minus sign indicates, let us assume one phosphorus atom, right? Why? Because each electron N majority here we mainly concentrated on majority carriers only, not minority carriers, right? If the majority carriers are electrons, what is electron? That electron approximately Nn approximately equal to Nd, number of donor atoms. Donor atom is phosphorus atom. Let us assume these are all the phosphorus atoms. Phosphorus atoms means internally it consists of 5 protons, 5 outermost 5 electrons. 4 electrons are strongly covalent bonded with another 4 silicon atoms. So this is a free electron. Remember. Similarly, this is a P type. Okay, here the plus symbol indicates the holes. Majority carriers are holes. Okay, whenever junction is formed, okay, whenever we connect a N-type material and P-type material here, what happens? Junction is formed. At this junction, what happens means this simply one electron is recombined with holes in P side. Left side electron is recombined with holes in right side P side, right? Okay, there is a one place here in P side hole. This electron recombine with hole. Then what happened here? This electron is jumped to other side. Now what about the charge here? Electron is jumped. That is positive ion is created. Immobile positive ion is created. Observe here. Within a circle plus symbol. That is positive ion is created. Similarly, what happened here? Right side P type. In P type, complete covalent bond is filled, right? What about here? Boron, 3 electrons, 3 protons. Now one extra electron is added to form a complete covalent bond, and there is no free charge carriers. What about here? Minus in enclosed with a circle, negative ion. So like that, at junction, nearby junction, positive donor ions are created in left side, whereas in right side, negative acceptor ions are created. Okay, some textbooks P is the left side, N is the right side, right? Anyhow, in N side, positive donor ions are created. In P side, negative acceptor ions are created. So this is due to the diffusion current. Diffusion. Higher concentration of electrons, here lower concentration of electrons in p side. So always travel from higher side. Here this is the process. Diffusion current. Current flow across the junction, diffusion. So higher concentration electron to lower concentration. Similar higher concentration holes into lower concentration holes. Diffusion current taking place. Okay. During the diffusion process, during this diffusion process, what happens means N side positive donor ions are created, P side negative acceptor ions are created. Okay, as diffusion current increases, okay, this side holes from P type to N type, electrons from N type to P type. Now what happens means further this region increases. More number of positive ions are created in left side. More number of negative acceptors or ions are created in P side. Now what happens means this region is important. This region is called the depletion region. What depletion region contains? Depletion region contains ions, positive ions as well as negative ions. It does not contain any mobile carriers. There is no charge carriers, right? Okay, within this region, all bonds are tightly bonded. There is no charge carriers. Remember this one. Depletion region, depleted. Charge carriers are depleted. Okay. As free electrons and holes diffuse across the junction, a region of fixed ions is left behind. This region is known as the depletion region. Remember this one. Okay, what happens? Depletion region. Okay, whether depletion region increases like this, here 2 plus 2 minus, again next 3 plus or 3 minus or 4 plus 4 minus, what happens? When diffusion current stops, right? Why? Because current does not flow. Why? Because it is open circuited. Here the PN junction terminals are not connected to anywhere. Open circuited. Open circuited means current is equal to 0. But only initially that current we may call according to some networks concept transient current. Transient current. Okay. Now mainly concentrate on depletion region. Okay. Now what happens means due to this positive ion in N side, negative ion on P side, an electric field is created. An electric field with this direction is created. Right? This is the positive charge. Positive ion means positive charge. This is the negative charge. Negative charge means negative ions. Here what happened here? Due to this, an electric field is created. Okay, during this area. Now, whenever an electric field is created, what happened here? Already we know that there is a relation between electric field and voltage, right? Okay, already we discussed that one in previous classes also. There is a relation between voltage and electric field. What is, once again I repeat here, voltage is equal to minus integration of E into dx, right? If there exists a electric field, indirectly there exists a voltage. Due to this electric field, what happens means drift current flows. Right? What is the drift current here? Drift current is flows through the semiconductor whenever an electric field is created. Right? Okay. Drift current flows. Okay. Current flow across a junction. Now this one is drift current. What is electric field here? Observe here the limits. Suppose limits are boundaries. Minus B, 0 A. 0 is the junction. Observe here less than minus B here. This area electric field is equal to 0. Now as slowly diffusion current increases, slowly electric field also increases. That means electric field is maximum at junction point. X is equal to 0. Similarly, this side also X greater than A, there is no electric field. X greater than A, there is no electric field. X less than A, there is an electric field. Electric field is maximum at junction point X is equal to 0. Okay, now what happens? Due to this drift current, this drift current will oppose or will stop the diffusion current. Why? Because here, observe here, in P-type material, holes are the majority. This will try to move into N side. But what happened here inside? There is a positive charge. It will oppose the flow of holes coming from P side. It will opposes. Similarly, in N side, majority carriers are electrons. Okay, observe these electrons are moving to P side. But in P side at nearby junction, which carriers are there? Negative charge. Negative charge here, electrons also negative charge. It will oppose. So finally, this electric field must stop the flow of diffusion current. So that both are in opposite direction. Diffusion current is equal to drift current. The final current flowing through the semiconductor is 0. Remember this one, right? Coming to here. Here, this majority carriers are flowing into N type to P type. Okay. Initially, it will flow. Whenever depletion region is created, this depletion region opposes the flow of electrons in N side. Similarly, this depletion region opposes the flow of holes in P side. Now what happens is diffusion current stops. When diffusion current stops, so whenever the electric field, this electric field is equal to, due to this drift current flows, this drift current is equal to diffusion current. That means this electron drift current is equal to electron diffusion current, or hole drift current is equal to hole diffusion current. Then diffusion current stops. Both are equal, both are in opposite direction, both currents are cancelled out. So that the net current is equal to 0. Remember this one, right? Okay, time up. Okay, tomorrow class, next class, we derive the expression for built-in potential. Then what is the exact value of this depletion region? What is the derivation? Okay, in terms of electric field, we cannot understand, right? We can convert this electric field in terms of voltage. Then we can easily understand how much of voltage will stop the diffusion current from P side to N side. Similarly, N side to P side, right? That is next class, right? Okay, today class are very important, right? To understand the basic concept of PN junction, right? If anybody absent, try to attend next class also compulsory, right? Because next class we try to derive the expression for potential, built-in potential, right? And so far, just once again briefly, I quickly repeat this one. Before forming a junction in N-type, majority carriers are N suffix N. Minority carriers are P suffix N. Then how to calculate NN, PN already we know. There is a small problem, right? That problem available in material I given. NN is equal to number of donor atoms. Similarly, PP is equal to number of acceptor atoms. What about PN? Minority carriers is equal to Ni square by Nd. Here Np is equal to Ni square by Nj. So minority carriers mainly depends upon temperature. Majority carriers mainly depends upon acceptor or donor atoms. Now once junction is formed, here observe here P side holes are majority, in N side holes are minority. So due to this concentration gradient, diffusion current flows. Holes from P side to N side. Similarly, electrons from N side to P side. diffusion current, hole diffusion current, electron diffusion current flows. What happens means here this electron recombine with holes here. Similar, this electron recombine, this electron recombine, this electron recombine. Whenever this electron recombine, what happens means at nearby junction, positive donor ions are created. Right? Okay, thank you.